So hey there, I'm here with my son, and we're about to make a video talking about the well, he's going to do most of the talking in this video about the last movie that he watched in the
Yes.
at the Digital Film Festival. Now, I was supposed to go to this one, but my better half had just gotten off of work, and she'd been doing a trade show, and it had been a long day. So we decided we'd stay at home, watch some of my Scream Factory stuff. And speaking of Scream Factory stuff, before I go on to say anything else, I got to give a big shout out to Robert Harding. We just finished watching his video on here. I'm glad I could get you into some of the Scream Factory. Let me know how you find the DVD, the Blu-rays, and how you find the special features. I too picked up that Daft Punk one, and it's amazing. I think Giorgio is my favorite song on there.
Really?
Yeah, I really love Giorgio.
I like Instant Crush myself.
Instant Crush.
I listened to it. I think before it came out on the iPad, on the iTunes streaming of it.
We are now big Daft Punk fans, but we have to be honest. Here, my better half has been a huge Daft Punk fan for years, before it was cool to be a Daft Punk fan. So when we came here, actually, we kind of made fun of her Daft Punk thing.
Okay, so I don't like...
We did.
I'm still not a huge fan of the song Technotronic, which for some reason everybody's like, hey, let's look at Daft Punk, let's look at Technotronic, and I'm like...
Well, it's more their core stuff. It's like that type of electronic feel to it.
Well, but that specific song. I love everything.
But anyway, so we did, and she was like, stop making fun of my stuff. And it was kind of like, for us, that making fun of the thing at the time was a way for us to say, you're cool, type of thing. We accept you, Google.
We accept you into our society.
It's all right, into our little club.
Now sacrifice the goat.
But not the bees.
Boy.
Anyway, what we're going to talk about today, or he's going to talk about mostly, is he got to see it on the big screen. I am so jealous. Akira. Akira was a classic film. When I first saw Akira, I was his age, actually. I was actually younger than him. I was in college. It was your age. I was in college.
Yeah.
It wasn't on the big screen. A friend of mine...
Oh!
A friend of mine was working at being a comic book artist, and he was getting a lot of anime. Most of it had no subtitles. Akira did actually have subtitles at the time. We got Akira and about 2 or 3 of the Dirty Pair ones, and some other stuff that I don't even know. I probably wouldn't know it until I looked at it now. My better half know it because she knows all the anime. She grew up with stuff more than we did, so But Akira, how was Akira on the big screen?
Okay. I loved Akira on the big screen. I went in not knowing any of what... Oh, look, my deodorant fell out. Not knowing any of what it was. The only thing I knew of Akira was literally the poster, and that it was set in 2019, which I could have won a poster for. But I was like, I don't know, I'm not sure about that. And then someone said it, and I was like, no!
Was it an Akira poster?
It was, it was the poster for Akira, and I was like,
yeah, that's nice.
It's really good. I'm just gonna order it. I loved Akira, and of the people that I was there with, I loved Akira the most. But it's very Japanese sci-fi horror. It's confusing in a lot of ways. It's more thinky. I wanted to compare it to Uzumaki. Which
most people know is Spiral.
Yeah.
Either
way. There's because of certain imagery, especially near the end of the film, when they've got I don't know if I should spoil anything.
It's a very dark film.
It is a very dark film. Near the end of the film, there's a lot more of that gross, mutating flesh stuff.
Yeah.
That I'm not the hugest fan of, but I still like it, and I love.
It made sense for the movie, though.
Oh, no, it does. At that point, I think I'm just going to spoil stuff, because I don't...
Okay, spoilers now.
Spoilers,
But you haven't seen Akira. It's been out for a few years, so...
I don't know, it came out, 2005? No. 2005, some guy, I don't know, George Lucas made that. But, basically the plot of the film is, it's set in 1988. A huge, catastrophic event happened that pretty much leveled Tokyo. and it's set in the motion for World War III, and the film is set in 2019, which is after World War III's gotten over, and the post-war session's gotten over. But there's still a lot of people who are very much not trusting the government. They're very anti-government, and there's a lot of cults in that worship a thing called Akira, which nobody's sure what it is. They consider it a godlike figure and some other stuff. But the film starts with this nice biker gang of if I can remember the names, Kanata, Tetsuo, the two main ones. Yakimashita? No, I don't remember the other one's names, right? Because they weren't that big. But
this movie was made in 1988.
Is it? Oh, okay. So they go and they run into these anti-government people who have this little blue shriveled boy who seems to have powers, and one of the guys gets hit by him pretty much. He almost gets him, but he gets exposed to his power and gives him powers, and he slowly goes crazy from the powers, and he starts to cause catastrophic damage to everything, hunting for this Akira, who he later finds out was experimented on so much that he's literally just pretty much slabs of his brain and other stuff. And as things start to slowly unravel, he's trying to figure out things, he loses control of his powers, and that's where things get really disturbing in a way. Because
it starts to get disturbing.
Sorry. Well, before that, he killed a lot of people. And
you gotta mention the Olympics trivia thing. That's really kind of a cool fact.
Oh, yeah. The Olympics, the actual Olympics, next Olympics, because the current ones are going to be in Tokyo in 2020. One of the backdrops of the thing is that because there's been such tension over the World War III and the anti-government stuff, they are really pushing to have a really great 2020 Neo-Tokyo Olympics.
Exactly.
Which
they're making stadium stuff, aren't they?
Yeah, they're making a stadium, which is built actually over Akira's place, which you find out is actually just a time capsule.
Yeah.
In the end, there's a lot of the film plays a lot on you can't play God. That's the reason the 1988 thing happened. Overall, it was an event caused by Akira because you can't do that. You can't play God, and that's what they tried to do. That's why the kids are okay with it, because they don't want that. They're innocent. They're younger, but the older people caused a huge event. So when Tetsuo, who's a teenager, gets it, he is completely one. He suffers from inferiority complex with Kanata. He's obsessed with how much Kanata helps him, and how he doesn't want that. He wants to be his own person.
Yeah.
And that's where the symbol of the bike, which is on the poster that I didn't win, is big, because that he mentioned at the beginning of the film, you can't handle this bike is meant for me, and later on he can't handle it, and he says he wants the bike, and he thinks he's in control, but by the end of the film, when he's not in control and he's morphing into a giant flesh baby, that I love horror movies and all this stuff, and I mentioned I do like disturbing stuff as well. But the scene where Kaori, who is his girlfriend, who he kind of pushes away because he's a bit of a jerk, but he's going through some stuff earlier, gets crushed to death inside of him, and he's asking Kanata, he's like, "Oh God, help!"
That was right.
Kaori's getting crushed. I can feel her pain, and I'm like, ah.
That was a rough scene. It was hard.
That's a very harsh scene. It was hard for me in theaters to be sitting there and be like, "Ah, no," because I do get emotional over that stuff.
Did you get emotional during the Majestic Service? I see people
I did. I was very emotional after the end of Majestic Service, and I was like, "Oh no, James Bond, don't cry!" Yeah. But the reason I just explained everything was, in the end, they resurrect Akira in a way. He comes back because he pretty much ascended beyond the need of a thing. And there's a very confusing event where he creates a dome of light.
Yeah.
And he's being pulled in, and a lot of afterwards, me and my friend had a huge discussion on what that could be, because it's they cut off the end of sentences, so you don't really know.
It's meant that way. Yeah.
Yeah. The way I figured it was that the way they described Akira early on is that Akira's genes and like everything has the inherent knowledge of everything else. Like things evolve into other things, but they can't do that without the knowledge of where they need to be or where they have been. I figure that they turned Tetsuo, because the last scene is like a universe and like the idea of breathing in and out, and it says I am Tetsuo. I feel like they turned him, like that's what Akira was. Akira was the universe, and maybe at one point he was what Tetsuo was, a person who ascended beyond that and became a universe, and that's what Tetsuo is now. Yeah. That's why they saved Kanata in the end, because technically he wouldn't die, he would become part of the universe, but he's got more to live with there, with Kai and that other guy whose name I don't remember. Now that I've discussed why I love the film, in that reason, this film, I'd suggest going to get it. Yes, obviously, I'd get it myself. I should pick up Dad's phone and order it now on the stuff, but the movie is so a theater film. The visuals are epic in scale. You're watching, like, this huge, like, cyberpunk anime landscape being... Well, first you just see it and stuff, but you get to watch it destroyed. You get to watch an entire, like, city crumbling, and in that big last event, you get to see an entire, like, all of Neo Tokyo just being devastated and destroyed. And they spend
such a good time establishing it before they do that.
No, they do. We watched Batman as well in theater. It reminded me of Gotham from Tim Burton's Batman. It's very, like, distinct. You see it and you're like, okay, that's Neo Tokyo. Yeah. This is a live place.
It actually, it's the place that it's almost like a living, breathing entity in itself.
You can, it's a very, like, homely setting. The moment you get into it and you see, like, the way it works, it's Gotham. It's the way it works. Also, the soundtrack, just the, like, I don't know how to describe it. The soundtrack works very well, specifically in the surround sound setting I was in, where you can just, like, hear it, like, on the back. It's very ominous. What?
Do you like the music?
Yes, I love the music. It's very ominous. It really fits into, like, the upping of pace. And it seems to be, like, the same song throughout, pretty much, but it gets, like, more and more, like, breathy and heavy and, like...
It's epic. It's epic on all scales. The visuals are epic in this film.
Oh, yeah.
The story is epic. The music is epic.
Characters are epic.
It builds, and it comes to that crescendo, and it pays off. That's a great thing about Akira is that it actually pays off. It doesn't just get there and leave you. It pays off.
Some people who aren't, like, familiar with Japanese horror, like sci-fi horror, like stuff like Uzumaki and Spiral and...
Uzumaki is one that we actually I used to buy the anime.
I really like that to be also right? Yeah. I would also like that to be an anime film. Or
live action film.
Something called, like, Death Star Ryumaki? I don't remember what it's called.
Uzumaki is a live action film.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
But we are out of time.
We are out of time. But I would suggest going to see it. I loved it. It's excellent. It's very thinky. It deserves to be seen in, like, theater, but if you can see it at all, just go watch it.
Why don't we say, Drunken Film School, guys? Yeah. Logan Toxic, Blu-ray Anonymous. You guys watch anime? You do an anime episode. Okay. I'm not sure. I know Logan Toxic does. Watch some anime, do an anime episode. This stuff really deserves to be looked at some more. Yeah. And my son here, he deserves his own channel and should be getting it. So comment down below and tell him that he should actually be talking his own stuff in his own channel.
I don't know. Guys, come on. I don't even care.
Thank you for watching. And for me right now, I'm drinking it, and I want to finish it.
I'm considering my braces. It's time for Jello.
Time for Jello? Yeah. For me now, it's time for tea. Jello sounds good. But it's time for tea.